Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we're going to be talking about the endgame dream team for the Stomper Dream Realm boss to maximize your damage. So we were able to get 36 billion damage with this team. Splash got over 38 billion damage with it. He sent a recording of it to us and we're going to go through that recording. But first, on my own screen, we're going to talk through the formation and talk about why this is the most powerful comp. At the end of the video, I will talk about different replacement options if you don't have some of these heroes. But for right now, we're just focusing on total endgame dream team. Okay, so the two key damagers are Merrily and OD, and they deal almost the same amount of damage in the Stomper Dream Realm boss. Around 13 to 14 billion damage each, and they far out damage Corrin. If you try Corrin in the Stomper boss, he's not a bad option, but he usually only ends up getting like half of the damage that OD and Merrily can output. So these are your two key damagers. We have Rainier and Thorin both to increase the damage the boss receives to a maximum, which is going to be 17% increase by Thorin and 25% increased damage received by the boss by 25% by Rainier. Rainier also does a really crucial thing, which he gives the attack buff to OD. This allows OD to be targeted by most of the snowballs of the Stomper boss, so that Merrily can quickly clear it, and here we have Scarlita as well, but if you had Corrin rather than the Scarlita, he would also quickly clear the snowballs. And also OD is going into the front line, so your heroes can clear the snowball a little bit faster than if you were in the back, and then some heroes would have to run towards him. So that's why this is basically the all-time best team. Scarlita, in the new season, she's actually a much better option to be running in Dream Realm bosses because of her seasonal skill, which is the same as Lucius. It will give your whole team a haste buff by 10 after survival of 10 seconds into a battle, and a damage dealt buff by 15%, which is pretty high when you're into the battle for 40 seconds if your allies are still alive, which they should be in the Stomper and this boss. So that's really why Scarlita is such a good option, and why we've also done a lot of showcases with Lucius as a good option in the Dream Realm. If you don't have Rainier, for example, Lucius can be pretty good. But Scarlita, of course, is going to be better than Lucius and also better than Corrin here, because Scarlita deals true damage with her abilities as long as there are enough surviving allies when she descends. And she has a lot of high damage multipliers in her kit, and most importantly, it is the seasonal skill which will power up the damage from all sources. Because if we actually look at Splash's record and even my record, Scarlita hardly deals 3.5 to 4 billion damage, but it's her seasonal skill which is ramping you up, and also she can help clear the snowball a little bit faster than even Corrin. But totally, you can definitely replace Scarlita with Corrin here if you want, and if you don't have Scarlita, for example, and that is recommended as one of the top tier teams. As for Evocation Spell, in a lot of the Dream Realm Endless bosses, Evocation Spell is the best option. It powers up your damage a lot, and honestly, if you're running a double damage dealer source from both magical and physical damage, OD and Merrily, then Evocation Spell might even be the better option. Because Evocation Spell, during the course of it, gives some attack increasing buffs, haste increasing buffs, and so you can get off more skill damage and just more raw attack damage with the increased attack. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and show the damage chart that Splash had. And here it is. So, as you can tell, Merrily and OD did almost the same amount of damage. Scarlita didn't even do as much damage as Thorin, but it's a seasonal skill, which is powering up the entire team, and also her ability to clear the snowballs a little pretty fast. So she's basically just an upgrade to Corrin in this team. So OD gets teleported into the front. Let's turn it to 1x speed. And if you have Thorin Soul Pacting the OD, he will not die from even that powerful melee range attack that the Stomper boss goes for. This was also the really interesting thing. His Thorin somehow took and tanked the first snowball, which normally doesn't happen. It might have something to do with the shielding of Scarlita on him. I'm not sure, because when I've tried before, like with Corrin in the team, Corrin is usually the one who tanks it, the snowball. Anyway, Scarlita descends now, and you're gonna see she's dealing damage to the boss, but she also deals cleave damage in front of her, so even when she's attacking the boss with some of her skills, she will, as a byproduct, hit the snowball immediately. And so the snowball was cleared very rapidly on the OD. Scarlita has a lot of true damage in her kit, and that is why she is a reasonable option in boss fights, because true damage is king in the endless boss modes, and that's why we run like Corrin and Merrily. And it really just comes down to the fact that Corrin doesn't get off that much damage in this boss, otherwise maybe he would be even better than Scarlita here. But definitely with a lot of testing, this is the top team with the Scarlita here. And I even did testing on my own account. I ran the same team and I got a new best score of 36 million. And before that I had like 35.5 with Corrin. So it's not a big difference, but this is definitely the best. So now Rainier goes down, but that doesn't really matter because I think the damage buff that Scarlita and Lucius apply with the seasonal skill already takes effect, as long as people are all alive by 40 seconds of the battle. Odie died towards the end there, so maybe with RNG it could have been a little bit higher, but he died practically with 1 or 2 seconds left on the clock. And that is pretty much it for this maximum damage Snow Stomper Dreamland boss. So Freyasto is not going to be a useful option here. And for the Necro Draken boss as well, the best scoring team that he shared with me was also the team I was running on my account. And it didn't even involve Scarlita, it didn't involve Freyasto. So far Freyasto has been a part of the King Croaker best team, and he's also a part of the Lone Gaze best team. I'm not sure about Alpha Bear, and I'm not sure about the final Skyclops boss. We'll take a look at those and then we'll update them with the endgame teams, but this is the best team. Now, if you don't have Scarlita, we're going to talk about replacements. Corrin is probably going to be your best replacement if you have all of these damages at Mythic Plus. If you don't, you can replace here for something like Kruger, and I did this. I tried out the Kruger team and actually scored better than me running Corrin, because Kruger deals a pretty decent amount of damage. He can clear the snowball a little bit quickly. You're still getting the factional bonus with Rainier in here. And I also tried this same team with Lucius. They did about the same. They both around about, I think, 34 billion damage, or a bit less than that, 33 to 34 billion damage. I always ran the evocation spell, and I do recommend that. Now, so these are the teams you can try if you have Rainier Mythic Plus but no Scarlita. And probably Corrin would be the best if you have him at Mythic Plus, but I think Kruger can also be, maybe with RNG, better. If you don't have Rainier, then you probably definitely want to run Corrin, and then you just want to pick probably Lucius to get the factional bonus. Because if we don't go for Lucius, we miss out on 10% stats, and that's a pretty big thing to miss out on. Like, if we would go for Kruger, but you have 10% that's attack on your Odie and your Merrily and your Corrin, then it probably isn't a good trade. So I would probably then go for Lucius here, if you don't have Rainier. Or if you don't, yeah. So, apart from this, you can go for example, let's say you do not have... And also, if you're going to go for this team without Rainier, I recommend putting your damage dealer carries, like Odie, as close to the front as possible, so that if he gets snowballed and you have to clear it, you can run back over there with Corrin to clear the snowball quickly. The other reason around Quick Blade spell is when I ran Quick Blade spell, Merrily was getting targeted more with the snowballs than Odie. So that's why evocation spell, if it can prioritize somehow getting the snowballs onto Odie, it's a good option. If you're very early game and you have no Mythic Pluses, or like very few heroes at Mythic Plus, then let's go for a team like that. It would be heroes which do well unascended. Probably something like this. We would want to get the factional synergy. So, Shakir is good here. Shakir is not the best, but he helps clear the snowballs a little bit quickly, so you can run him here. And you could go for something like Coco. This is not bad. Even in an early game team, this is not terrible. But you basically want the damage received debuff from Thorin to increase the damage onto the boss. And then you just want to have like other supports to give you the factional bonus. So something like this I would probably recommend, or maybe even something like this, get rid of Coco and go for this if you have no issue surviving. This would contribute more damage, but you can go for one of these. And that's basically my recommendations for this team. I hope you guys enjoy this end game showcase of the top scoring Snow Stomper Dreamland boss. We're going to do it for all the Dreamland bosses because I think this is useful, because even if you don't have Freyasto or Scarlita on your account, it can give you an idea of which hero you want to invest in next if you know that it can do better in certain Snow Stomper bosses and is the endgame goal team. Because Friesto is the endgame goal for King Croaker and Lone Gaze, but Scarlita is the endgame goal for Snow Stomper and she's also in Lone Gaze. So, and Scarlita's is also more useful in PvP compared to Friesto so far, so maybe you would want to prefer Scarlita, and I personally prefer Scarlita to Friesto, but Friesto is very useful. If a hero can increase your damage in the Dream Realm, that already makes him a very useful hero to build, but now with Taylene coming out, we don't have time to build Friesto, you have to build Taylene as well. Or at least get one copy of Taylene, maybe that would do her job well enough, but we'll see. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, thank you for watching. That is going to be it for this one, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe because we upload daily AFK Journey videos with guides and updates and cool content like this showing the top teams and what you can like basically strive for in the future. But thank you for watching, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.